Hi guys, this is Dia and welcome back to my channel. Guess where I am right now? I am in India. This is my room. I'm at my in-laws place right now and I thought why not do a video because I've recently traveled with Dhyani, and if you guys are new to my channel, she is 20 months old toddler and it's not the first time we've been traveling with her. She has taken at least 10 flights, so I thought I'll share some tips on flying with a toddler on plane, and let's get started. So my number one tip is to prepare as much as you can before the flight. Now by preparation I mean even little things like what you want to wear on the flight, like for yourself, for the baby, for your partner or whoever is traveling, because that way you know whether you need to wash something, you need to find something. Say for example, when we were traveling, I was really looking hard for Dhyani's hoodie or cap because I knew it would be cold on plane, and if you want to purchase something you've still got time on hand rather than doing it last moment the night before you want to travel. So that's my tip number one. Always keep your clothes ready, what you want to wear on flight. So tip number two is to carefully pack your diaper bag and your cabin bag, because with a baby or toddler you're gonna have a lot of liquids, gels, liquids in the form of water, milk, juice, some snack items, gels, say diaper rash cream, some body lotion. So you're gonna need all of that. So I like to keep all of this liquid and gels in one bag so that it's very easy when you're going through the immigration. You can take out, you know, this is the bag that you've got all the liquids and gels into, so you can easily take them out, put in the tray and clear your immigration. So tip number three is have sufficient time at the airport. So I would suggest to arrive early at the airport. So we had a flight at 9 a.m. in the morning and we left our home around 5:30ish, and we were at the airport at least 3.5 hours earlier than the scheduled departure time, and that gave us enough time to clear our baggage, immigration. We were at the boarding at least an hour before the flight takeoff time, so this way you are not tensed, your baby is relaxed, you are not worried, you have enough time to feed the baby, for diaper changes. So yeah, arrive early, that is very important. Next tip is to always change the diaper at least 15 minutes before when you actually boarding the plane. No matter you have changed the diaper like an hour or maybe an hour and a half before, I always change the diaper just before boarding, because that way I am relaxed that when the flight will take off, or even an hour or two later, because babies get really tired in entire process of baggage, immigration, boardings. There are high chances that your baby will sleep at the time of takeoff, and that's what happens at least with my daughter. She usually takes a nap. She's super tired because we've woken up early and she would immediately go and take a nap. So I don't want to worry about wet diaper that time, so I would always change it before, at least half an hour before the flight takeoff. So next tip is for actual takeoff, which is very tough time for everybody. What I do is I constantly explain her that you may have a little bit, because she's 20 months now, so she understands everything. So I explained her on the flight at this time that she may experience a little bit of earache, so all she has to do is just sip the water, and then that's what we were constantly doing. Like every 30 seconds I was giving her a sip of water and she was fine. When she was little and I I traveled with her, I gave her either a bottle or I nursed her. So again, the same logic to keep the eardrums open and reduce the air pressure and discomfort in the ears. So either milk, water, juice, whatever your baby prefers, just give them to reduce the ear discomfort. So the next tip is about the seat booking the flights. Now many people suggest booking an aisle seat and a window seat if you are a family of 3 and if your baby is on the lap. But I personally don't like to take chances, because every time I've traveled on the flight, it's pretty much full, because we always travel via Singapore, which is a very busy airport, and I wouldn't like to take that chance. So we always book a seat for the honey. So if you can't do that, when she was little, say 3 months, I think that was the first time I was traveling with her, I obviously didn't book any seat for her, but I requested at the boarding if there was any empty seat, and the boarding staff actually gave me a seat for her, so which was very kind of them. So this is what you can do. They will change your seat, that's fine, but at least you can get 2 or 3 seats together. And I got lucky at least 3 times, 3 or 4, I'm not sure, 3 times for sure. And once I actually got a row of 4, and we were literally sleeping on the row, on all the 4 seats while traveling. So that was quite good. So I wouldn't take chance to book an aisle and a window with a possibility of strangers sitting in between, or you have to request her to move on the aisle or on the window. I wouldn't take any chances. So yeah, but this is what you can do. The boarding staff is more than happy to change your seat if the flight load is not that full. Another thing that you need to keep in mind is the availability of the bassinet, because there are only 6 to 8 bassinets on the flight, and they are booked quite quickly, like a couple of months before even the scheduled flight date, the bassinets are gone. So you need to consider whether you want a bassinet or not, whether you want a separate seat or you want to request for an empty seat. So that's another thing you need to keep in mind. And if you are getting or booking a separate seat for the baby, I like to always confirm with the flight staff at the time of the booking that the seat handrest would go up, because otherwise there is no use in booking a separate seat for the baby. So another thing that you want to keep in mind is the descent. So descent starts much earlier than the actual landing. So if the flight is say 30,000, 40,000 feet, it obviously takes a lot of time to descend down for landing. So and that's exactly when most of the babies start crying, but parents sometimes they're not even aware that the descent has started unless the pilot has announced, which usually they do, but depends if you're listening or not. So 30 to 40 minutes I would say before the landing time, you should keep an eye on the flight path. That's what I do, and I always look at the number of feet that we are at and whether it's constant or whether it is decreasing. And then likewise I will see whether my daughter is sleeping, whether she's playing, whether she needs to be given some water, whether she is getting a little irritated. So you need to observe your baby or the child, how that descent has an impact on your baby. Now another thing that you can do, which is really gonna help you a lot, is take the stroller, because most of the flights would allow you to take the stroller till the flight gate, and which is awesome. So your baby is relaxed and you don't have to carry your baby with all the cabin bags that you've got. So you really want to take advantage of having a stroller till the flight gate, and then you're happy, your baby is happy. So next tip is what your toddler is wearing. So I would prefer doing layers because you don't know whether flight is going to be very cold or whether it's going to be normal. Usually flights I have seen they are either very cold or they're just normal temperature. Obviously they're not hot, but layering works really well because you can take off a layer or add a layer. And if the flight is really cold, I always keep a hoodie with me because my daughter doesn't like very beanies, so she would immediately take them off, or the socks, she doesn't like it. So I always have a hoodie with me, and then she would be fine with the hoodie and she will not catch any cold. So the next tip is keep your toddler entertained. What I did was I saved some toys just for the flight time. I bought some new books, something which she has never seen, so that she is excited to see them on board, or a little bit of screen time on flight is exception for us. So I would actually turn on baby movies, Disney movies, and I would make up my own stories. I obviously wouldn't give her headphones, but I would make up my own stories, and then we would say Finding Nemo, or Frozen, Penguins, Happy Feet, and all those movies, and I'll skip them. If I feel she is now getting a little bored, we'll skip to another movie, and I'll keep. So you have to be a good storyteller, in short. So that way your kid would be really entertained. Another big one is always have some medicine on board for your child. I always like to keep Nurofen, Panadol, something that would keep something for fever or for pain, because you never know how or what circumstance you are going to face. It's always good to have some medicine so that you are relaxed. At least you have got a backup. For diaper change, as I mentioned before, always have the diaper change just as close to the flight boarding time, and then I also like to change during the flight every 2 to 3 hours, and then just before the landing or when the descent starts. So that way you're very sure that when you have landed, you don't have to worry about diaper change while you are clearing the immigration. So you are relaxed, at least your baby is dry. So this one is really important for me. At least a week or 10 days before the flight day, I actually am very careful. I'm actually a little paranoid about what my child is eating. I don't want her to feed something that will make her sick, because I don't want to deal with a sick child on the flight. Like a fortnight before the flight, I stopped her daycare, because even if we are sick, we've got enough time to recover for the flight. And then I also looked very carefully what she is eating, no ice creams and things like that, so that she doesn't catch cold or any fever and she is not sick on the flight, because there's nothing worse than having a sick kid on the flight. Don't hesitate to ask for help on board the flight, because the flight staff is more than happy to wash the bottles, milk bottles for you with hot boiling water, refill them with fresh milk, or refill your thermos with milk or juice or whatever you want. So don't hesitate to ask for help. So that's it guys for this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up if you like this video. I have got heaps of more videos coming up, including my room tour, so my Indian residence room tour. So stay tuned on my channel and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.